I forget that you were on the Art of Astonishment
yeah,
DVDs.
right, I know.
Those were so good.
I know. I made it onto the most important DVD set, which was hype. It was the big thing for 6 months.
Oh yeah, it was for which is for 6 months is a long time in the magic industry. Hello and welcome back to another Penguin Magic Top 10. I'm Erik Tait, the host of the Penguin Magic Podcast, and joining me today is my good friend Shaun Dunn. How you doing, Shaun?
Good.
Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
We're very excited to have Shaun in because we're going to be talking about virtual magic today. And I know in this case, virtual magic is something that's been an awful hot topic these days, but it's actually been around for a long time because people have been doing magic over the phone as well as over the webcams. When you look for a virtual magic trick, what do you really look for?
Well, I like when the effect can happen in their hands. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that's the best. Yeah. And when they have something that when they finish it, it feels like they kind of accomplished something.
Yeah,
it's a surprise.
Not just sort of like performing at a screen,
yeah.
or like a YouTube video they could just watch, but something that's really interactive and they're sort of invested on their side.
Yeah, and for the most part, we'll try to stay away from math and stuff like that. But there are a couple of good math tricks.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, like I think about Tori Noka's automatic magic square as like one of those great tricks that I would do in person, but also great live. But I don't want to jump ahead because I don't know what order these are.
There, but the thing, just you mentioned that, but it's just her teaching is just so good. Oh yeah, at that it's just
she came up on another one of these top 10s that Nick and I were doing, and we just mentioned that like she's a great magician, but she's also a great math teacher. So she's like really good at teaching the math and the magic. But let's get to the top 10. Yeah. Shaun, what is number 10?
Number 10 is Virtual Triumph.
Oh, yeah.
By Adrian Lacroix.
Oh, the Virtual Triumph by Adrian Lacroix. I remember when you sent this video to me, I didn't understand how it worked at first because he's got some neat stuff going on where he uses gimmicks and they're not.
Yeah, and it's the kind of thing that once you experience it and you realize it's good. Yeah. But it's very simple. You really have to have it in their hands, and that's what's great about it because that's what they experience it in their hands, and the process they're easy, they're kind of fun. But they do something amazing, but then you do something even more amazing, so you still kind of win. I guess.
It's a really well designed routine, and the process I think is so important because so many times with virtual tricks, we're talking about processes, and Adrian is just really good at stripping away a lot of the sort of like overly processed portions of it that other people add in and make that process seem necessary but also chaotic in a way that they can follow. He's just really good at that.
Yeah, and I think with that one has a visual ending where you see, like I think most people would do it with the 4 aces. Yeah. But if you, I guess you could do it like pin numbers, before that kind of revelation or something like that. But yeah, great trick.
Strong number 10. Hit me with number 9.
Number 9. Well, next on the list, another Adrian Lacroix.
Oh yeah.
Which is, and the reason those are probably lower in the list because they're new. It's hard to tell what their impact will be in years ahead. But his virtual Out of This World, which is really good.
It's another really good. For those of you who don't know what Out of This World is, it's where the spectator is sort of picking face down cards and putting them into piles, determining whether they're red or black, and they are right. It's a classic trick that's been around for a long time, and he's done the same thing with virtual Out of This World, where he's really hidden a lot of the processes. And I really like that he has a shuffle sequence in there that destroys magicians who don't realize what it is.
And when you recap, you can say, hey, you shuffled everything multiple times or whatever. And what's good about it is the spectator does all the work, all the dirty work. Oh yeah. And it happens early in the effect, so it's like you kind of forget that stuff. I mean, if you notice, like people forget. Yeah. I forget what my my 10 list was or whatever, but people just forget where they started. They only remember what they ended with.
Yeah, it's a nice example of both rewriting history and time misdirection inside of a nice, interesting packet effect. Let's forge ahead. What's number 8?
It's actually a math trick.
Okay.
But it's from Banachek's LNL DVD, Psychological Subtleties, Volume 2, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Number reversal.
Yeah.
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 And with this trick, you basically ask them to think of a 3-digit number. I actually, the way I do it, I'll just tell everybody.
Yeah.
I have them think of their phone number because it's almost always the first 3 digits are different, I think.
Yeah.
I've never had it fail that way, but I say just think of your phone number, right? And then you kind of reverse that number, and then you subtract, and you get to a new number. But after you've done that, that's the only math that's there. It's easy to justify why you're doing the math because you want to come up with a number that they would never have thought of.
Yeah, and Banachek is so good at taking those things that are like the mathematical principles that seem obvious on their face, but really disguising them into powerful mentalism routines. I'm not shocked that Banachek ended up on this list.
Well, and the great thing about that is my experience is they think, oh, it must be the same thing every time. You like, do it again. It's going to be different every time.
Yeah.
You know, so that great. I'd use it all the time.
Oh no, great trick. Let's move on to number 7.
Okay, number 7 is actually a trick of mine from Paul Harris's Art of Astonishment DVD.
Oh, that's right. I forget that you were on the Art of Astonishment
that's
DVDs.
right, I know.
Those were so good.
I know. I made it onto the most important DVD set, which was hype. It was the big thing for 6 months.
Oh yeah, it was for which is for 6 months is a long time in the magic industry. So what was the effect?
So I've reworked my Out of This World called Dunn Deal, and reworked it into over the phone trick, because essentially that trick they're doing everything anyway.
Yeah.
So I've kind of changed some things about it, and I might have something out with it in the future.
It's interesting to note that with what you did with it was you did make it work specifically over the phone, because at the time, while webcams and video chats were possible, they were not good. It was the Wild West of like choppy, glitchy video.
Yeah, and that was like, that trick was the first real magic trick that you couldn't just learn at the library that I learned. So it was kind of a cool thing to be a part of that series. I'm sorry, Paul Harris's Galaxy, which my trick is an evolution of that.
Yeah.
Was the first trick I learned, so it was cool to be on that set.
Yeah.
Presenting a variation of Galaxy.
Be sure to hit this, tag this video with a like if you have a copy of the Paul Harris Art of Astonishment box set, because it's different than the books. I mean, it was really it was a very well done, interesting project. Came in a very cool puzzle box. So the packaging was like fun to play with too,
and it was a $300 DVD.
Yeah, I remember when that came out. I was like, $300 for DVDs, and it's worth every penny if you can get your hands on it.
Yeah, and you get the gimmicks with it.
Yeah,
like there's weird pins and stuff.
It's a super cool. I mean, it's a neat part of Magic history beyond being just a great resource for Magic. Let's move on though. I think we're up to number 6.
Yeah, number 6 is I hope I'm giving this correct name, but I think it's the Waikiki Location.
The Waikiki Location.
Yeah, and it's just...
go ahead and tell the audience about this, because I feel like I know what the Waikiki Location is, but I'm not sure if I'm remembering it correctly.
Yeah, so this is like one of those things that happens in Magic where people tell you a trick and tell you the name of the trick, and then you find out like that's not even what that's called. So I really hope that this is named correctly, but it's a great card effect that allows the spectator to shuffle the cards, cut the cards in 3 piles. They look at one pile, bury it in between the other 2 piles. Then there's some cards that are face up and face down mixed together. It's a real mess, right? And then you can do this presentation where you're like, okay, now I'm gonna be a lie detector over the phone. Yeah. I'm gonna listen for different clues, and as they call out all the top, the face up cards, that reveals in a way that you cannot fail. It reveals what their card is.
Yeah. No. Where would you learn the Waikiki trick? Do you remember?
I think it's like well, you're a comedian, right? They have like street jokes.
Yeah.
Right? It's a street trick.
It's a street trick.
I don't know if it's got to be somewhere, and there's probably some nerd out there that's like, grabbing his
if
book
you know
and-
if you know where you can learn the Waikiki location, be sure to drop a comment in the discussion below and let us know. It may be one of the only things we don't have a link to in the description here, because we're going to have links to the description to everything else. But that was number 6, so we're cracking into the top 5 here. So we're getting into the really good ones. Shaun, what is your number 5?
5 is from Corinda's, and it's called Day for Any Date, which is you name the day that you were born, I tell you the exact date that it was.
I remember reading this in Corinda's. By the way, if you don't own a copy of Corinda's 13 Steps in Mentalism, get on Penguin Magic and get it. If you are interested at all in mental magic, the building blocks of it are right there. Like the 13 steps are it.
Yeah, and the thing about that particular one is it doesn't work. The one that's in Corinda does not work, but it gets you into the. It's great to read it and study, because it used to work, I think, maybe in the 90s.
Yeah, there was something that happened with the math where it doesn't work anymore, I believe. But there's
updates.
Yeah, there's updates to it, because there are updated versions that work, and I know there's been a couple of them on some Penguin Live acts. But the one in Corinda's is definitely, it's worth going back to learn that, to understand what was involved in it. But to be able to tell someone the day they were born just by their birth date is a really fascinating thing.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's
almost like a memory stunt.
Yeah, it's more like a memory stunt or
Yeah.
or a math thing. I mean, you can present it so many different ways, but at the end of the day, it kind of comes off as mentalism.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why Corinda included it. But let's continue moving forward in this top 10 virtual magic list to number 4.
Well, that's got to be like the OG phone trick, the wizard's phone trick.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the wizard phone trick, and it's really great now too, because you can, if you don't know the wizard phone trick, just look it up. It's one of those things you can find on the internet. People have talked about it and written about it in a bunch of different books. You can find it in your library, but it's basically you've got a confederate over the phone, and doing it with a Zoom call now is really great, because you can set up someone to do that. I've even used versions of the wizard, and I've told them, hey, I'll cue you with something in my background, and done it.
There's more evolved methods out there. I'm not sure of a lot in print. I know the other brothers have something that's really cool, but I like doing Google searches and trying to find like a magician's only forums.
Yeah, and I also think it goes without saying, like, the preeminent version of the wizard is Jonathan Levitt's The Stranger app, which is the wizard on steroids. But it's amazing.
Yeah, but there's an argument that's like you can't beat the pure telephone connection with the friend that really knows you, and
yeah, there's pros and cons to both, and it's a really interesting it's a really interesting problem to tackle. But the wizard is definitely great.
If you have a good like, I recommend Dan Harlan's coding system.
Oh yeah, Speakeasy by Dan Harlan, which is available on Penguin. It's a DVD.
Yeah.
I've been working on Speakeasy with my girlfriend so that we can talk behind people's backs.
It's crazy because I filmed that with Dan maybe about 10 years ago, and he told me, he was like, I'm going to teach somebody a memory system or a coding system that I'm a non-professional is going to go out and do an entire show, hour-long show, using this system. And I know I'm getting off target here, but like, if you learn how to code and you use Mr. Wizard, like, it's game over.
It really is game over if you combine a coding system like Speakeasy from Dan Harlan with the Wizard. But we're closing in now. We're on, I believe we're on number 3.
Number 3 is a recent Penguin release by Jamie Daws, virtual mind reading system.
Oh yeah, the virtual mind reading system is very good. Yeah, I mean it hung out in the top 10 list forever.
Yeah, so. And what's great about it, I don't. When we try to make products, we try our best to communicate what's really good about it. But what's really good about that particular product, I don't know if people got, is that it's like having a combination to everything that's going to happen for the next 30 minutes with that. So you can pretty much guide the show any way you want and do some really strong magic once you have what you need, which is very, very easy to get, you can do any effect possible, any mentalism effect.
It's really well thought out and a really great system that if anyone is interested in doing more and more virtual magic, it is clearly a go-to for them.
Yeah, and there's a card effect on there that is, even if you hated everything else, and you got this one little suggested idea, it's totally worth. The card trick on there is just great. So I mean, it's just an awesome hour-long download you can just buy right now.
Excellent, excellent. Let's move on to number 2.
Tequila Hustler.
Oh, yeah. You know, it never really occurred to me you could do Tequila Hustler over the phone or over a Zoom call, because there's a point in Tequila Hustler where they talk about you don't even need a ring or a coin. It can just be an imagined ring or coin. And Tequila Hustler is a fantastic piece of work from Mark Edelson.
Yeah. I can't really say much else. I mean, it's the go-to.
Just go buy it.
Yeah,
if you want a witch hand that doesn't use electronics, that works every time, and that's easy to do, Tequila Hustler is the way to go. I mean, it's not as clean as some of like the ones that use special props, but because you do have to like say things and they have to follow particular instructions, but it is very clean.
Yeah,
and
available at Penguin.
It's available at Penguin. But I think that brings us right now to number 1. Shaun, your number 1 virtual magic trick.
Well, this is really my favorite phone trick to use, and I'm not a big fan of apps. This one is just does so much stuff, and it does.
Oh, I think I know what you're about to say.
Really strong.
I think I know what you're about to say.
Yep.
Just say it.
Inject.
That's it. It's Inject. Of course, it's Inject. Inject is great because you can do it over the phone. You can do it over a web chat. It's a really. I mean, it's the whole package.
Yeah.
It's one of those that you can do it in person, but it's really strong because you are you are far away from people, and because so much happens on their phone, there's almost no way for them to backtrack exactly what happened.
And I would say it's a difficult trick to present because it's too strong. Not too strong, but so strong.
Yeah.
That if you're not getting the reactions that you should get from that type of effect, then you're doing something wrong in your presentation. So apps do everything for you. You can learn them instantly and start performing, but really it's just a matter of like handle what you do with that power. It's up to you. I'm not trying to quote Spider-Man here or anything.
No,
it's your responsibility to handle that well. And
it does take some work and some practice to be able to get those monster reactions with Inject that you are capable of getting. Be sure to tag this with a thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up if you're getting monster reactions with Inject, because I know the Penguin team is. I want to find out who of you on YouTube is, and I didn't see Inject coming, but as soon as you started to describe it, I totally understood why you chose Inject as your number 1 virtual magic trick. Shaun, thanks so much for joining me here on the top 10. For you guys at home, this is Shaun's top 10. We're very interested to know on your top 10 virtual tricks, or if there's some virtual tricks that we don't know about that you guys do that should have made this list but weren't on there. Let us know in the comments below. As always, be sure to subscribe so that you can find out when we've got more top 10 lists coming out, as well as other great videos. Thanks for Shaun for joining us. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Erik Tait. On behalf of the rest of the P3 team, we'll see you next time.